My dear children of Bhutan, the future of Bhutan. Today, I want to tell you a story, and consider me your grandmother. I want to tell you a story of the Great Fourth. You may ask, why is he called the Great Fourth? I will try and explain to you the reasons why. The Great Fourth resigned from his throne once his son, your present king, was fully prepared to take on the responsibilities of being a king. And that was almost 20 years ago. That was a time most of you were not born. Now, let me start at the very beginning. The Great Fourth, His Majesty Jigme Singye Wanchuk, was born 70 years ago this year. And that's why I want to tell you the story. I want to tell you stories about His Majesty. I have known His Majesty since we were both 19 years old. And so I have seen His Majesty work for the greater good of this country almost 24/7. He always put the welfare of his people and his country above everything else. And now, imagine one thing, dear children. Imagine His Majesty became king when he was only 16 years old, on the death of his father, His Majesty the third king. Can you imagine yourselves taking on the responsibilities of the future, of the destiny of this beloved country of ours in your hands, if you were then also 16 years old? Just imagine that. His Majesty Jigme Singye Wanchuk is a king of destiny. His birth and reign were prophesied by a great treasure revealer called Terten Dutadoji in the 18th century. And the prophecy came to fruition. His Majesty was born on 11th November in Dishichule Palace in 1955. His Majesty was then sent at a very young age to study in a boarding school called North Point in Darjeeling. And thereafter, His Majesty went to a school called Summerfield in England and later to Heatherdown. His Majesty was a wonderful, very accomplished athlete. He loved hockey, he loved rugby, he loved boxing, and all the sports. He excelled in the sports. He loved the sports. And the best part is that when he returned home, he had to return a little bit early back home, where he studied at the Ugin Academy in Paro with a few selected students, all boys. And His Majesty then introduced basketball, golf, tennis in Bhutan. So he was a great champion of the sports, as he was a champion athlete himself.